Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Joe, the 50-something Dasher, covering my gig work for July 20th and today, the 21st. And real quickly, before we get to the lead story, I did an end zone Jolly Pirate order. I can't believe it. Guys, I don't know how long it's been since, every Jolly Pirate is going to like Bangkok, Thailand or Osaka, Japan. And finally one in zone. I took it. I can't, guys, I can't believe it. I picked up a Jolly Pirate order 6:13 to 6:37 yesterday morning, picked it up and delivered it in zone. I just absolutely unbelievable. People here in Grove City still must eat Jolly Pirate donuts. Okay, lead story. The nightmare shopping order. Okay, so $18, 7.5 miles, 35 items. Okay, not great, but I took it. This was bad. So when I first saw this, I pull into Meijer, I take this screenshot. This is what concerned me right here. The sushi. It's immediately when I saw that, and we're not even at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I'm like, well, there's no way. That sushi counter is not going to be open, and I'm not going to get this, and I'm not going to be able to substitute. This is an automatic refund. But I get in there, and it was not open, but they had sushi sitting there from that they like set out for the overnight hours or whatever, and this item was actually sitting there. So that wasn't the problem. It was some of these other things. Okay, so let's get right. And I think one of the customers was only like 3 or 5 items, and everything was there for that customer. And I think that customer was also the close one out of the two. The second delivery, and the one that was farther away and more items, is the one with all the substitutions. So here we go. Reese's Puffs, okay, had to substitute with a larger size. Thank you very much. Okay, next. And I didn't even know that Meijer sold meals like this. Never saw them, never paid any attention to them before, never had them in an order before. Okay, so they didn't have this meatloaf. Okay, that had to be substituted. More about that here in a second, these meals. The spaghetti they didn't have, or the next was this Italian sausage they didn't have. Okay. Next substitution, garlic salt. You kidding me? How could they not have this? I had to substitute a larger size. Thank you very much. Okay, here we go. Huggies, wipes. Had to substitute, instead of 1 package, had to substitute 3 other kind of Huggies wipes. Thank you. Okay, now back to the meals. So I substitute one of them had a substitution listed that I substituted, and then the other one I think had a substitute that wasn't there either. I don't know. It's again, it's like one of these things where in the app there's probably like 30 different meals in there that somebody can choose from. But what was sitting there, you see this picture right here, what was sitting there in front of me was probably like 6 or 8 different meals. That's it. And so the customer, I sent like 2 pictures. And the customer sent this back to me and basically saying, forget about, whatever substitutions was listed. Just get me 2 of each of these things here. And he circles them. Okay. Well, there's a problem with that. And the original order only had 2 total meals, not 4. So I just got one of each of those, okay? And then, so then later he sends me another message. Were you able to get 2 of the, of those meals? And then I kind of, at this point, after all those other substitutions and everything and the issues with this order, I was starting to get really frustrated. So I kind of sent this out of frustration, and and I apologize about this, but I just typed back, I got one of each. The payment will probably get declined if I go much over the original dollar amount. And he just responded, thank you. And a couple minutes goes by. Well, yeah, you see there 2 minutes goes by, and I got to thinking, no, I need to let that customer know that they can get what they want. They just need to add it into the order. And I still had a couple other things to shop in HBC. I had to go to the bathroom. So there was going to be time for the customer to modify this order. So I sent another message. I said, you can add the items to the shopping list and on your end and to adjust the order. And you see here 4 minutes goes by and nothing was added and no response, or so I just checked out with what I had with the 2 total meals. um okay, there's the first drop off at 7:48, and we're already at, this all started at 6:52. We're already at an hour here for an $18 order. Okay, guys. Drop off the second order. Thank you very much. $13, 0 and 5. There's my $18. And so all total, it was an hour and 5 minutes for $18. So there you go. And yeah, I mean, you're gonna have that's just the way it is. These shopping orders, you're gonna have orders where it's only 5 or 10 items. You go into the store, boom, 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 boom. Store has everything. Boom, 5 minute shop, checkout, deliver. A lot of them go smoothly. You get some, you're on a roll, and then you run into an order like this, and it's just like, but you gotta, you gotta just suffer through it. You're just, it's just part of the job that you're gonna have to suffer through the orders like this. This was kind of interesting, but I'm not a landscaping guy, so I don't know what I'm dealing with here, and I didn't have time to analyze this. But here's a $12 order on Shipt, 14 items. Okay, it's only 2 things to shop for: Scott's topsoil and this mulch. Now, and I don't know how much this stuff weighs. Okay, so this first one is 0.75 feet. The other one's 2 cubic feet per bag. I have no idea. Are we talking 10-pound bags here? Talking 20, 50-pound bags? I don't know. And like I said, this was yesterday. I didn't really research this until just before starting this video. And this first one, it said on an internet search, 14 to 40 pounds. I don't know why, that's kind of a wide range there, but you're talking at least 56 pounds for those 4 bags. And then on the low end for that next one, 30 pounds. So a minimum of 300 pounds for that bottom one. So you're talking like, I don't know, 400 pounds worth of stuff for $12. So it's a good thing that that I didn't want to chance it, not knowing anything about this. And it was a good thing I wasn't stupid and took it. $2 minimum order. Just decline, obviously. Check it out. $2, 4 miles. And then here's then this was kind of a bad order too. Well, I wanted to talk about this order because of the drive back to zone. So I knew this was bad, okay, but I went ahead and took it. I probably wasn't getting, it was like a slow period or whatever, and I just went ahead and took this. It's only 10 items. And you got one customer way out, East Columbus. So I knew this was bad. Okay, so here's the list. The first customer, this was easy. Just those three things to shop for, and that was the close customer. And then, a rotisserie. And I mean, the shopping wasn't hard on this. I had this shopped in 10 minutes. And delivered the first order here in zone at 12:25. Then it takes me 25 minutes to get to the second customer and drop that off. There it is right there. $20.50 from DoorDash, a $2 tip, and there's the other tip. Now, I got sometimes I'll get, not very often, but sometimes I'll get offers for, it's not always a deadhead back to zone. Sometimes I'll get something coming back. Well, the reason I'm talking about all this is because I actually on this, I got not one, but two different orders coming back to zone. So I thought this was pretty interesting how this worked out. So I dropped that off. And 1 minute later, I get a Save-A-Lot order. I showed the one, a couple videos ago that I didn't take, but this one I took. $14, 6 miles heading south, getting me closer back to zone. So yeah, let's go ahead and take it. First time going to Save-A-Lot. I don't know anything about this. There's my list. It kind of reminded me of like shopping in Aldi's, very similar to Aldi's. Some of the items had like aisle numbers listed, others didn't. It was kind of confusing. Like, for instance, one of the items was breadsticks. And the pizza and breadsticks, like some of it was along the wall and other pizza and breadsticks was in the bunker. I mean, so overall, the store was organized fairly well, but some of it wasn't. So this took me, I guess, pretty good on the shop. 17 minutes for the 17 items. And I had to message the customer about a couple substitutions. The bread just had to be they didn't have any buns at all, and so that just had to be refunded. And then I had to substitute the breadsticks. Delivered that at 1:37. $14 all from DoorDash. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, and now I am like closer. This delivered like South High Street area. And I get a 875 9-mile Wingstop. This is picking up on South High and delivering in zone. So that was, that was really cool actually, how I got these return trip orders. This took 20 minutes start to finish, $2.75 and a $6 tip. And then this was a decline. This is kind of like later on in the shift, and that would have, I think, put me closer to goal. But look how far out that's delivering. Um, Boom, $2, 9 mile Pizza Hut. Check it out, folks. Here's another beauty. 283 Tim Hortons decline. Uh, so I guess the pause is not working. I did a pause on Best Buy. So here, boom, here's a Best Buy offer. So even though I still see the function to do it in my declines, it's apparently, like you guys said, and it's not working. Another $2 order. $2, 7 miles. Check it out. It looks like that's delivering to Southern Point. There's my dash summary. So $168 against a goal of 200. I did 20 deliveries and in 7 hours 23 minutes. Now, earlier in the shift, there were on iView It, there were 2 views that I accepted that I did after this dash. So it was both of the Dollar Generals in my zone. Both of them are on the same street. They paid $7 each. So my wife and I did some grocery shopping first. It was raining really bad. So we grocery shopped. Then the rain died. We went to the first Dollar General. I did that view and just drove down the street, did the other one. They took about 10-15 minutes each and picked up $14. So when you add that to this, it's $182 and some change. So didn't make goal, but I was, close enough. Now we get to today. Did some Uber for the first time in, like, I think over a month. So started out with an Uber shop, $19. Only got to shop 4 things and 14 miles. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So it's kind of weird doing Uber again. Had to, I think, substitute this popcorn. But yeah, pretty easy. Had it shopped in 4 minutes. Okay. And then I like how, and we'll see this in a later order in today's screenshots here, but that's one thing I like about Uber over DoorDash. I like how it sends you offers before you've delivered an order. And that's happened to me on DoorDash maybe once or twice, but like hardly ever. And I really wish, they would change that in DoorDash. Like once you get within like maybe 5 minutes or so of delivering, go ahead and give you another offer so that you can have something set up for when you drop that off. I don't know. I don't know why it's not set up like that, but I really like how Uber does it. And then here's another one. This is Livingston and James. That's my dad's old stomping grounds. I'm not going out there for a $5 order. So here, drop this off at 6:43. So what is that? That's a little over a half hour to make $19. Great. Good start. I don't even know where this is. So East Main Street, this Sherwood Road. I'm not familiar with where any of this is, so I decline that. Here's a upside down speedway decline. Okay, an upside down Buckeye Donut decline. I'm only at like a 7% acceptance rate with Uber. Now I think this is the one I took. I was still on my way back to zone. $5 6 mile McDonald's, but you see like the customer is close to the McDonald's. So I took this, and then so I'm just getting back into zone. I still got a couple minutes before I get to the McDonald's, and I get this message from the customer, and I don't like a lot of times I can't remember customer names or whatever. So I at first I thought this was from the customer I already dropped off to, and it just says my phone number is such and such. And at first I thought I was being hit on, but then I go and I pick up the McDonald's, and it wasn't until after I picked up the McDonald's that I realized that this was for the McDonald's customer. And then, but they had it in the instructions to call when I got there, but then this number here was a different number than what was in the app in their account. So I guess that's why this message. I don't know. And not sure why I declined this. Maybe because of how far away it was delivering. Little $3 order decline. Upside down TJ's decline. $12 14 miles Starbucks decline. Now if I ever had to rely on Uber and had to get my acceptance rate up to get better offers on Uber, I would take something like this if I had to, but the way things are for me now with DoorDash, I don't need to take upside down orders. Here's a $5 3 mile McDonald's. I went ahead and took that. So let's close these out. And then I don't have like a delivery, but this this delivered like to the W-2. There's some like weird address that's not the address for the W-2, but GPS, that's where GPS routed me to. So that was just weird. But once I saw where the routing was taking me, and then also once I saw the customer instructions, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is the W-2. I don't know why the address is wrong, but, whatever. Upside down Chick-fil-A decline. Had gotten clear up until this point, nothing on DoorDash. Nothing. For the times that I had it turned on. Decline that. $4 Starbucks decline. And I might have been home right around this time. I think this is when I came back home and turned back on DoorDash. Because here you see this first decline, 395 7 mile. Okay, decline, and it's just decline after decline. 850 12.5 mile decline. Look at this, $4.59, 14.5 miles decline. Upside down Starbucks decline. Decline. $5 5 mile Starbucks decline. Not going to leave the apartment for that. Upside down Starbucks decline. A shopping order for $8. Not interested. Especially when I saw the list. 2 hair clips. Nope, not doing it. Not leaving for a $4 order. Decline. How many upside down Starbucks can you get in one shift? Decline. And guys, I took this. I yeah, I'd been sitting in here for like an hour, and my wife was in here too. She was off today, so she was on Instacart looking for orders on that. She wasn't getting anything. I wasn't getting anything on Uber or DoorDash. We're both just sitting here for an hour. I gotta do something at some point, so I took this. It's what the only bright spot here is everything's all close together and it's one customer. So why not, guys? I didn't deliver this until 9:07, so this took like almost a half hour. The Taco Bell was ready right away, but the McDonald's, they said their frappe machine was out. I had to message the customer. I had to get a substitute, and it took a few more minutes. And my wife had gotten an Instacart order that she took. So after this order, I went ahead and stopped this dash, and so that I could help her on that. And there you see $2 and $4.25 in tips. So it is what it is. And then so I logged off, and this is about as bad of a dash summary screen as you're ever gonna see, folks. $6.25 for over an hour and a half. What is that? $5 an hour. But an hour of that I was sitting right here in this chair. So and then 25 active minutes. Even the active time is bad. That's still just like $12, $13 an hour. So like I said, I went and did it was like we went to Kroger and shopped about, I think it was like 30 items. It delivered in zone. This didn't take too long, maybe start to finish, 40, 45 minutes, somewhere in there. It was originally showing her like, I think $18. And we dropped it off. The customer was she kind of interacted with my wife a little bit, and the customer was I think kind of impressed with we used my delivery bags, and she's kind of impressed with that and everything. And like I said, the little small talk and everything. Well, we drive away, and that customer added to the tip and made it a $40 tip that we got on that. So that was pretty outstanding. And of course, my wife allowed me to use that 40s. What was it? 40. $46.63. That was we were able to count that towards my $150 goal today. This was my only offer on Deliver That, $18 out of zone. I think it was like a $200 and some order, so decline. $6 Starbucks, not interested. $8. I gotta shop 8 things though, 5 miles. This really didn't seem like it'd be worth it. Another just kind of mediocre $13 5 mile. Gotta shop 8 items again, decline. Or actually, no, I took that. And then right as I took that, I got this McDonald's that I had to decline. So here's the list. Pretty straightforward. This tea right here, I had to substitute with like a fourth option. And it just, there was no like customer approval on that. I just scanned, it was like, Snapple peach tea, which is very different from this original item. And I scanned it, and it said, okay, we're notifying the customer of this change. And then, a few minutes goes by, I don't hear anything. And then, the app just tells me to check out. So, I don't know. Little bit different than substitutions on DoorDash. Um, just before delivering that, I get a $5 5 mile Popeyes. So I went ahead and took that. I think it was a little bit more than 5.5 miles actually. But and there's my drop off at 10:50. So you see, I got this offer like 3 minutes before dropping off the Meyer order. And again, I wish DoorDash did that. Uh, Here at then later at 11:12, $3 Subway decline. Boom. I all these kind of like little orders and everything, and that hour of downtime that I had earlier on DoorDash and Uber. Boom, catering order. Praise the Lord. 1875, 8 miles. Absolutely went ahead and took this. Um, I get to Piata. The order's ready. It was only 2 sacks. Just put that in two of my bags, off to the customer. This was like a jail or prison that I hadn't been to before. So first time there, GPS was going to have me go down this alley behind one of the prison like areas where I was like, I'm not going down there. I went a different direction into where like the main building and visitor where visitors are supposed to go or whatever, the main office building. That's where I went. And luckily there was a guy standing out there watching for me, and I didn't even go in. He just took the order from my car, and he carried it in. Go close that out, check it out. $40 tip. So my wife and I both got a $40 tip each today. How cool is that? Outstanding, guys. $2.75 from DoorDash, $40 tip. And that saved me right there. I thought maybe I was to meet goal. I thought I was going to have to work clear until like 4 p.m. today. All these Five Below orders are bad from at 12:50, not going up to West Broad area or wherever this is for that. Uh, Look how raunchy this is. I'm like in the middle of the customer and the store is each around 4 miles away from me. So that's raunchy. Of 9:37 Target, got to shop 7 items, decline. Here's an upside down Ulta Beauty going East Columbus, decline. I went ahead and took this. This didn't look too bad. 9:25, 5.5 miles, and it's cool because it says the actually just one of the orders was ready. So I get in there, the one order was ready. I was taking my picture and everything. As I was closing out that first order, he put my next order out. So and then boom, picked that one up, and I was off to deliver. And delivered the first one at 12:07 and then 12:19. So the 25 minutes for 9:25. So not terrible. 325, and I have one of the tips right here. So there's one of the tips and $5. Thank you very much. So 11:25, 6 miles. I'm not going to Aldi's, and delivering to the Hilltop for $11. Decline. Um, I went ahead and took this. I probably shouldn't have. This is my Dollar General. This is the other one down the street. Um, And I'm surprised I found the scouring pads, but half the store was completely blocked off. They had freight to be worked, and they just set it in the cross aisles where you can still get around through the store and shop. But this particular location, they had like shelves like blocked off completely. It's like, how are you supposed to shop for anything? I had to substitute this. It's kind of frustrating, but this took 6 minutes. It took me a while to find this area, and then I had to substitute. So 20, you might as well say 20 minutes for $5, $1.50 tip. So this, that was bad. Um, a decline upside down, 950, 13 and a half miles decline. Look at this one, 944 lows, 19 miles. Absolutely not. And then I took this. I think this might have been my last order. $5 2 mile Burger King. I'll take it. I only needed $5, to make goal. I think my math was wrong. I was already at goal. I didn't need this order. And there you see, okay, so this Uber offer coming in at the same time. So here that is. But what is this? 1266, 18 miles. So decline. Delivered at, so this only took 11 minutes for the $5, $2 and $3 tip. And here we go, the second dash. There's actually 3 dashes. The first one, I didn't get any offers at all, and just logged off, started doing the Uber. And then the one that you saw, the $6, and then this one. This is a better dash summary here. This is much better. $62 in an hour and 20 minutes. So, yeah, much different than that previous dash summary. 5 deliveries. So, all total today, so it was so DoorDash was $66.50, and then the $46.63 on Instacart. 5 deliveries, $47.52 on Uber, so that comes out to 13 deliveries, $162.65. So over goal. And I only drove 85 miles. And we did all of this, even the Instacart in my car, 85 miles. So came close to $2 a mile, which in my market, I can never hit that, but we came close today. New views available. Let's check it out. Okay, guys. Whoops. Okay, so there's what the screen looks like. You see the green dots are the available ones. Okay, so what do we got? We got Bank of America. 2 months. Does this have to be done today? Yeah. So this is Stringtown Road, Bank of America. I'm going to claim it, $8. Okay, so I claim that. That's for today. Okay. And what else do we got? Here's another Bank of America, Georgesville. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that one too. $8. So this is just like yesterday where I did the $2 generals. Claim that. Okay. That one's claimed. Okay. I'll just go. What is this one here? Another Bank of America. Harrisburg Pike. Should I do 3 of them, guys? What do you think? Let's do it. Let's do 3. Claim. Okay. So now that we're adding $24 to this, and I can and that's these views. Yeah, I got until 8. It's 3 o'clock now. I got until 8:15 to do these. Um, so anyway, back to the summary. So I mentioned 85 miles. And so all total, total time work today. I started just after 6 o'clock and logged off at like 1:41. Or wait a minute, this says 12:55. Um, so it's about 7 hours. All total. All right, I'm gonna jump off here. I may do these Bank of Americas right now. Actually, get them out of the way. I'll see if maybe possibly my wife wants to go too. We'll see. But anyway, that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there, and we'll catch you at the next video.